In this video, I'm going to talk about a very important concept in Java programming, and that concept is inheritance. And we're going to get to it in just a minute, but first I'm going to talk about this class that I wrote called Shopper. And it represents a supermarket shopper, let's say. And I'm saying that a supermarket shopper or a shopper gets 1 turkey point for each dollar they spend. And if they earn 500 points, they get a free holiday turkey or tofurkey if you're a vegan. So this is shopping around holiday time, let's say, and every shopper has a name and some number of turkey points, which we're keeping track of. These are called instance variables, you know by now. This is my constructor, where I'm initializing my instance variable's name, and I'm setting turkey points to 0. And then I have a method which returns the shopper's name. Sometimes these are called getters. I'm getting the name. This is another getter. I'm getting the number of turkey points. I'm returning turkey points. That's a double, of course. And then I have a void method here called makePurchase, where you're just passing some amount, and I'm adding that amount to the number of turkey points. And then, of course, I have my toString method, and you know how all of this works at this point. You've done it a million times. Here's my toString method. One thing that I want to make sure you're aware of is I can just use the variable called name and turkey points here. They're private, but I'm inside this same method, so I can use those variables. However, I could, if I wanted to, instead of saying name, I could run the method getName. That would work the same. And instead of saying turkey points, I could run the method getTurkeyPoints. Doesn't matter. That also works, just so you're aware. All right, now we're getting to the exciting part. Let's look at the class which is going to inherit from my shopper class. Now let's say I wanted to make another class which was identical to the shopper class, except it had a couple of differences. Well, Java lets you do that in this really efficient way, and it's called inheritance. So here's my new class. It's called Senior Shopper, and I've used this keyword extends. Senior Shopper extends shopper. And when you use this keyword extends, what happens is this new class automatically inherits. So when I say inherits, it automatically has access to all of the methods in the original class, which is often referred to as the super class, and this, of course, the subclass. So I have access in Senior Shopper to all of these methods except for the constructor method, and more about that later, but I have access to all these methods. So I don't have to rewrite anything in here except if I want to change a method, or I'm allowed to add new methods as well. So I don't have to write the method getName or getTurkeyPoints, or I didn't have to write the method getPurchase or makePurchase, but I did because I wanted to modify it slightly. And same with toString. I did not have to rewrite toString, but I wanted to modify it slightly. So let's look at this a little bit more closely. Again, I said if you use the keyword extends, that means that you will inherit. That means you can use all of the methods, and you actually have all of the instance variables as well. You can inherit all the methods that are in the superclass. So I've extended shopper, so I have all those methods available to me. Now I've added an instance variable called home delivery. Presumably, Senior Shopper can select home delivery, but notice I'm not redeclaring these variables, name and turkey points. They are inherited. You do not want to redeclare them. Although they're inherited, I actually can't use them directly. I can't use name here, but I could say getName. So in other words, I have access to these methods. So this is my constructor. I said all of the methods are inherited, except constructor methods are not inherited. So I'm rewriting this constructor method. There's a couple of funny things here as well. I'm passing in the name of my shopper and Boolean home, H rather. As I said, senior shoppers can elect for a home delivery. So this could be either set to true or false. And then I have this keyword super. Well, what super does is it calls the constructor in the super class, the class above this one, the class that this is extending from. So it calls the superclass constructor, and I'm passing it n, which is the shopper's name. So that gets passed to the superclass constructor, and name gets set and turkey points get set to 0. And now I'm initializing the instance variable that I added to Senior Shopper. And one thing, the call to the superclass constructor must be the first line of a constructor. And as I said, I inherited these other methods, get name, get turkey points, but I decided that I was going to give my senior shoppers 1.5 turkey points for every dollar they spent. Isn't that nice? So every dollar they spend, I'm multiplying by 1.5. And notice I'm running the superclass method called makePurchase. Super.makePurchase runs the method in the superclass. Here it is, called makePurchase. So basically, I'm just passing amount times 1.5 to the superclass method makePurchase. There it is. And then I have a toString method here as well. And the toString method, I decided that I want to designate senior shoppers with the word senior shopper. So I'm adding that, I'm concatenating that with a call to the superclass toString. So when I run the toString for my senior shopper, it should say senior shopper, and then run this toString, which says their name and how many turkey points they got. Maybe I should say all this one more time because it's a little confusing and there's a lot going on here. So by using this keyword extends, what you have done is you have made this class, senior shopper, a subclass of shopper. Shopper is called the superclass, and the subclass inherits. It has access to, or you could even imagine that they're here. So you can imagine that get name is here and get turkey points is in here. It has access to all of those methods. You can rewrite a method if you like to. So I'm rewriting makePurchase. And you could actually add new methods as well if you wanted to. So here's my makePurchase. I've modified it, and I'm calling the superclass makePurchase. Now, if I didn't have this super here, if I just wrote makePurchase, it would call itself in an infinite loop. That's not what you want. So that's why I have this keyword super. Super calls the superclass. And then I rewrote the toString method. I just added the word senior shopper, and again, I'm calling the superclass. All right, now let's look at the tester. This is the tester program. So here I've created a new shopper S1, and the new shopper's name is Taylor. Taylor makes a purchase of $200, and then I'm just printing out Taylor's name, and then I'm running the toString method. So here you can see I'm making a senior shopper. This is really nothing new. You know how to make objects with this new keyword here. So I'm making a senior shopper, Sal. False, remember the senior shopper has the option of having home delivery. So I guess senior shopper Sal does not have home delivery. So Sal makes a purchase. I run the get name method in senior shopper. Now this is a little funny here because when I say s2.getName, it tries to run the get name method in senior shopper, but look at senior shopper. There is no get name method. So what do you think it does? Well, it just goes up the chain to shopper, and it sees that there's a get name method, and it runs that get name method. Hey, no problem at all. All right, let's look at the tester next. Then it says, I think we did the make purchase and get name. So then it just prints the toString, and well, that should work just fine because we did do a toString method in the senior shopper, and it actually makes a call to the superclass toString method. All right, let's run the tester. It's going to be very exciting. And there you go. Taylor, of course, and this is the toString. Made a $200 purchase, so they have 200 points. But senior shopper Sal has 300, even though they made a $200 purchase, because remember, they get 1.5 turkey points for every dollar spent. Just a couple more things about inheritance in general. And one of those things is that in Java, you can only extend one thing. You can only extend, in this case, I'm extending shopper, but you can only have one parent, sometimes it's referred to. Now that parent can have a parent. So in other words, this chain can kind of keep going up, but you could only extend one thing. You can only have one parent, you can only have one grandparent, you can only have one great-great-grandparent, and so forth. And actually, everything is a subclass of the superest superclass called the object class. So your great-great-grandparent is an object and actually is the object class, and that's why you can use things like dot equals without writing that method, because it's in the toString method, for that matter, is also in the superclass, in the object class. So if you don't write your own toString or equals, you're actually running the method in the superest superclass. Also, it's important to remember that all of the methods are inherited in the subclass except for the constructor. So you do have to rewrite the constructor. And if you want to add any new instance variables, you can, but those instance variables are inherited. You just can't access them directly because they're private, but you can get them by running methods. So I think that's a pretty good introduction to inheritance. There's a lot going on here, so we will talk about it again, but thanks so much for watching.